The real reason she was there, the welfare check, Nicole's white lies make perfect sense. Sometime around midnight, the defendant planned, packed, and dressed for her mission. She put on her best black ninja suit, threw in her pry bar, her muted flashlight, and even her special pair of flashlight gloves.
The moment we hear what the jury decided, we'll bring that to you as breaking news. Well, we are ending the work week on a cooler note. Mike Augustinak is keeping a close eye on things. So, Mike, very overcast out there today.
Yeah, and there's some rain falling from those clouds up north. This has been going on pretty much all day. But of kind of maybe bigger concern is this area of low pressure, which is going to head into southwestern Minnesota through the evening. There's really not much going on there right now. A couple of showers trying to get going down around Worthington. But this is an area that has a Category 2 out of 5 risk on our severe weather threat scale. And all severe weather types are in play tonight. Not just damaging wind and damaging hail, but also the potential for tornadoes, particularly in this extreme southwestern corner of the state. Now, as those storms expand or develop a little farther to the north, this air here more stable. There's no front close to us, so if we do see a stronger storm, it's likely going to be one that holds together as it moves out of southwestern Minnesota and weakens. The chance here, not zero, but it is pretty low overall. Some of the other things we're watching on the 4, not just that severe thunderstorm threat, but a flash flood risk in this yellow shaded area and near it, which includes the Twin Cities metro. That's where we have a 15 to 40% chance of flash flooding somewhere in that area. It's a 5 to 15% chance elsewhere in Minnesota. So some locally heavy rainmakers. It does look dry all weekend, and also just in the past hour and a half, we have new air quality alerts, including another code purple alert way up north. I'll come back in the next few minutes and explain what those different categories mean and what you need to do to prepare for them. But as we go through the evening, later in the evening, a much better chance for thunderstorms. Temperatures generally holding steady in the mid-70s. Good news on this is it's in and out quickly, so the weekend looks pretty good. Happy to tell you about that as well in a bit.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Taking a look here at your next drive, expect a lot of traffic around the capital city this weekend. We got the big Yacht Club Festival happening at Harriet Island Park, and this is one of the entry points along Highway 52. It goes over the river, this bridge here. It's already an area that backs up considerably as people try to get onto 94 and 35E, and we're seeing that especially today with a lot of people heading into St. Paul for the weekend.
Now to Cambridge, where a driver is fighting for his life after a crash during an event called Night of Destruction. Our John Lordson has more from outside the Isanti County Fairgrounds.
Well, the driver had to be physically removed from his truck, and then he was airlifted to North Memorial Medical Center with life-threatening injuries. Witnesses we talked with this morning say this was really hard to watch. They say there were 2 rollover crashes at about the same time. A witness told us that one of the drivers was okay, but the other had to be removed from a black pickup truck, and then first responders performed CPR in front of a stunned crowd. The race was then called off, people were asked to leave, and a LifeLink helicopter arrived to fly the driver to the hospital.
But then you look over and you just see this black pickup truck that's pancaked to the ground, and you knew things got serious when you had all these people coming out trying to figure out what to do. I think that's something that just sticks with you. I don't think I'm ever going to forget them doing CPR on him after getting him out of that vehicle.
Again, we're being told that the races were canceled the rest of the night after that crash. Coming up tonight on WCCO News, we'll hear more from witnesses about what they witnessed on Thursday night. In Cambridge, John Lordson, WCCO News.
Right now, investigators are trying to figure out what sparked flames in a home up north, killing 2 people. It happened last night in Beatty Township, which is about 2 hours north of Duluth. Fire crews from several departments were called in to help douse the flames. 2 people were found dead inside the home. Their names have not been released.
3 deputies are dead after an explosion at a law enforcement training facility in Los Angeles. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department says this incident is the largest loss of life for the department since 1857. Still unclear what caused the explosion. It happened at the so-called arson explosives detail facility, and these were longtime deputies serving the department for decades. Their names have not been released. President Donald Trump is ordering a new disclosure of information related to the Jeffrey Epstein case.
This comes as pressure has been mounting for full disclosure from the government. Erica Brown has the latest from Capitol Hill.
I call it the Epstein hoax.
As pressure builds for the Trump administration to disclose more information related to the Jeffrey Epstein case, President Trump has ordered Attorney General Pam Bondi to release pertinent grand jury records, which Bondi says she will request. The president also pushed back on a Wall Street Journal report alleging Trump wrote a birthday note to Epstein in 2003 that included a hand-drawn sketch appearing to show the outline of a nude woman. The Journal reports the letter ends saying, "Happy birthday and may every day be another wonderful secret." Trump called the letter fake, writing on social media, "These are not my words, not the way I talk," and he's threatening to sue the paper and its owner, Rupert Murdoch. The move follows weeks of scrutiny, much of it coming from the president's own supporters.
The sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people.
Stephen Taylor, a Trump supporter from Western Pennsylvania, says the president's base is demanding what the president promised.
We put you in office. You ran on this platform. You offered it. We didn't ask for it, and now we want it. We demand it. You know, what I mean, there needs to be accountability. There needs to be justice.
Republicans on Capitol Hill are pushing for more transparency from the Trump administration on the Epstein files, advancing a resolution out of a House committee calling for the Justice Department to release more information about the case.
Every single one of the Republicans on the Rules Committee are for transparency and for releasing the files, just as the President of the United States is, and they wanted that to make it crystal clear.
We obviously want the files released. We want every name that's on there to be held accountable.
Democrats voted against a resolution because it's non-binding. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Okay, we have breaking news now. Jurors have just reached a verdict in the high-profile burglary trial of a Minnesota lawmaker.
In just the last few minutes, they found DFL State Senator Nicole Mitchell guilty of possessing theft tools. Prosecutors had accused her of breaking into her stepmother's home in northern Minnesota last year. The judge ordered a 5-minute tape delay, so we'll show you the moment that verdict was read and Senator Mitchell's reaction when we can in just a few minutes. Right now, communities down south are trying to stay above water, how they're preparing for a weekend of heavy rain and flooding.
But first, Minnesota inmates learning important life lessons by partnering with puppies. Now, this type of training and responsibility is preparing them for life after prison.
are some new four-legged visitors to Minnesota's largest state prison.
And they're there for an extended stay.
Can Do Canines is a New Hope-based service dog provider.
And it is teaming up with prisons to give inmates the chance to become trainers and handlers. Jonah Kaplan has a preview of what he's working on for WCCO News at 6.
You see the barbed wire fences here at Faribault Correctional, and you would think, okay, dogs, prisons, maybe it's a German Shepherd, maybe it's a Doberman, certainly maybe to sniff for drugs or to provide security. But no, not these puppies. Take a look at these guys. They are meant to teach responsibility. They are meant to teach these inmates about caring for others and to help ground them for the future in their rehabilitation process. These are all Labradors, and they are here as part of a program called Can Do Canines, which is a partnership among 9 different prisons, federal and state, in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and they are here to train these dogs. These dogs are actually going to be used for PTSD and for anxiety and any other number of therapies and help once they're outside and once they're not puppies anymore. But for now, again, a new part of the rehabilitation process. And speaking with the inmates, they really credit them for giving them a whole new purpose for moving forward.
Gave me a little more responsibility, you know. That's the biggest thing that I've learned. I have to have the responsibility to take care of myself in order to transition, transform my life, and starting to make better choices will give me.
Faribault Correctional is the state's largest. There are 1,900 inmates here. So who are they? Who are the handlers for these dogs? Short answer, it can't just be anybody. The very strict requirements and why those handlers are moved to minimum security. That's coming up later on WCCO News. In Faribault, Jonah Kaplan, WCCO News.
All right, time to check in with Mike and the next weather forecast, because you are tracking the possibility for some storms tonight.
Yeah, another day, another severe weather threat and flash flood threat. It looks like it should be mainly across southern Minnesota, but following this round of heavy rain and severe weather, we actually have some really bad air quality moving in. We are right now, though, seeing good air quality in most of Minnesota, so it's going to be a little while before we have to worry about that. In fact, the air quality advisory that I showed you for northern Minnesota starts at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, goes all the way through to Monday morning at 9 a.m. And when we have a little more time in the second half hour, I will explain what each of those categories mean, and if you're headed up north, what you should do to prepare. Coming up this evening, it's actually a very pleasant evening for perhaps napping up north. 50s and low 60s, where we've had this round of rain that occasionally has had a few rumbles of thunder, generally moving from due west to due east. So none of this is a concern here for the Twin Cities Metro as we go through the evening, but it is going to turn stormy and rainy eventually. There's an area of low pressure that I mentioned is going to be tracking to our south. Anytime you've got a warm front with an area of low pressure this time of year, that means wind shear, and that means the potential for severe weather. And that's exactly why our tornado risk is up, particularly in this extreme southwestern corner of Minnesota, and our hail and wind threat. After that moves on, high pressure builds in. That is going to clear our skies out, and we'll go over to sunshine for the weekend and also bring in that wind trajectory that returns smoke to parts of Minnesota. So I'll walk you through the next several days here as we show you the hour-by-hour future radar forecast. This one already a little overdone when it comes to thunderstorms. This is not happening right now, so that is an error in the model. We know this, right? Weather models are always wrong to some degree, but sometimes they're useful anyway. And in this case, that's showing that steady light rain off to the north, sort of sliding east and winding down, even though there will still be a few patchy showers left around up north through the evening. It's as we head toward 10 o'clock tonight that scattered thunderstorms develop in and around the I-94 corridor and point south. This may not be exactly where these thunderstorms are located, but they'll be somewhere in this general vicinity by 10 o'clock. And then the real concern through the overnight tonight is for the severe weather to kind of go away, but for the flash flood threat to persist across southern parts of the state. We will keep a close eye on that for you. Meteorologist Adam Del Rosso will be in bright and early tomorrow morning with updates for you on that. As we wake up tomorrow morning, it's mostly dry. dry, but there will be a lot of low cloud cover around that will take most of the day to kind of melt away. But I think as we head toward the late afternoon, we're headed more over to an even mix of clouds and sunshine. And with that, around dinner time, we'll see temperatures bounce into the 75 to 80 degree range. That'll be the high temperature. And then Sunday, a few degrees milder. Humidity both days, pretty reasonable for this time of year. I think we'll likely have dew points in the lower 60s, which is actually pretty nice. I mean, it's not quite as comfortable as what we've had the past few days, but for July, that's great. Heat and humidity do come back next week, though, and next week looks like another active week with scattered thunderstorms and that real hot, steamy stuff lasting probably all week long.
Okay, thanks, Mike. We want to get back to our breaking news because in the last few minutes, a jury found a Minnesota lawmaker guilty of burglary.
Let's watch what happened in the courtroom as DFL State Senator Nicole Mitchell learned her fate.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Nicole Lynn Mitchell, guilty of the charge of burglary in the first degree. It's signed by the foreperson and dated on today's date. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your unanimous verdict as to count one? Respond. Yes. Yes. Thank you. All right. As to count two, we, the jury, find the defendant, Nicole Lynn Mitchell, guilty of the charge of possession of burglary or theft tools. And it's signed by the foreperson and dated on today's date. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your unanimous verdict? Yes. All right. Would either counsel like the jury polled? No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. All right. Then, ladies and gentlemen, you may be excused at this time. Thank you for your time, dedication, and commitment to this trial.
And we will, of course, have more to come in the wake of this verdict. We'll be right back.
We're following that breaking news. A DFL state senator found guilty of burglary.
Here is how that could impact the whole state. Her party is now calling for her to step down. In a new statement, the DFL Senate Majority Leader just said in a statement, quote, Senator Mitchell has told colleagues that she intended to resign if found guilty of this crime, and I expect her to follow through on that pledge. Now, legally, Senator Mitchell could keep serving. If she does step aside, that would return the Senate to a tie between Democrats and Republicans. The prosecutor in this case just spoke moments ago, so we will bring that to you in a few moments. Well, you were looking at 60 dogs and cats arriving at Flying Cloud Airport in Eden Prairie today, and these are rescue animals from overcrowded shelters in Alabama looking for fresh starts here in Minnesota. They will be receiving care at the Bond Between and Animal Humane Society. And of course, today is Friday, and that means we take this time to help a local rescue animal find its forever home.
Brittany Bauman is here from Animal Humane Society. You always have different types of animals for us. That makes Fridays fun. So what type of animal did you bring with you today?
Yeah, I mean, I tried. This is a chinchilla. This is Mushu. He is 4 years old. And so he just came to us earlier this month. His previous home, it wasn't working out for him. And so he came to us for a second chance.
He's a little shy. Look at Mushu
He is
there.
a little bit, yeah.
I know, he doesn't like us right now. But maybe he'll like us if we can get him adopted. Tell us more about, what it's like to own a chinchilla and the care involved.
Yeah, so chinchillas are a prey animal. They're kind of similar to our guinea pigs in a lot of ways, in which they might not need as much care as a dog or a cat, but they do need daily care. So they need to be fed every day. They need fresh water. They can always benefit from enrichment as well. They can free roam out of their cage, and they do like to bond with another chinchilla as well. So usually they kind of come in pairs. He doesn't have a bonded pair, so if you've maybe got one at home, he could go well with that, or if you're looking for one and maybe can find another, he could certainly bond with another chinchilla.
Can I just say I love his energy?